Okay,
Yes.
Oh, it
Rajesh.
is better, better.
Yes.
Okay, okay. Very good morning to all of you. Hello. Am I audible to all of you? Hello.
Yes, proceed.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you, thank you. Very good morning to all of you. On behalf of the Department of English, IQAC, and R&D cell of AVC College Autonomous, and I welcome you all for the webinar on recent trends in translation studies. On behalf of the principal, on behalf of the secretary, I once again welcome all of you, and I thank the management members and college for providing such a great grand facility to conduct such kind of meetings. And it is a novel venture for all of us. So we have some teething trouble in the beginning, and don't mistake me that it will be quite practice while it is coming to use. And the topic which we are dealing today is very interesting, that translation studies played a very vital role in the course of in the modern scenario, because the translation in the beginning during 1980s and 70s, translation is closely associated with all languages. Now after the 80s, there is a separate department is being generated, and translation study become very popular nowadays. So this is the emerging field. Translation is very, very essential, and it provides a lot of opportunity in various fields. In every minister we have seen that we have a translator for all the ministers. So language played a vital role. Similarly, translation also played an important role in everyday's life and everyday's activity. So that's why our department has decided to conduct a webinar, exclusive webinar on recent trends in translation. And I hope the resource person is a more apt person for the topic. I will tell you while I was introducing the resource person. On behalf of the department, on behalf of IQAC, and on behalf of R&D cell and principal and secretary and the college authorities and board of managements, on behalf of all of them, I welcome you for the webinar on recent trends in translation. Now I request our principal to say a few words of felicitation. Then I will introduce the guest. Over to you, sir.
Very good
MB
morning.
sir, உங்க வீடியோவை அன்மியூட் பண்ணுங்க.
Okay, sir.
மியூட்ல இருக்கு.
Unmute. Over to you, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Very good morning to every one of you, sir. On behalf of the college, on behalf of the management, on behalf of the teachers and non-teaching staff members and students, we welcome you all for this nice occasion of this online seminar on research trends in translation. Let me take this opportunity first to thank our resource person who has accepted our invitation and who are here with us for today's talk. And I am also congratulating Department of English and Dr. Venkatesan sir, as well as Manikandan sir and other colleagues, Meganathan, HOD sir, for this wonderful arrangement. Today we are having the guest from Sarabhoji College, who is going to give you a talk on translation. And it is really a wonderful occasion for all of us. Although it is on the lockdown period, but still we managed to do something constructively as well as productively, for which we are taking our effort, and a lot of people are supporting from various nook and corner of the different parts of the world. At this juncture, I thank all of them, and English department is taking a wonderful initiative, and Rajesh sir is going to give you a talk on translation. Translation is one of the important areas in any language wherever you go. Particularly in English, it is having a major role, because a lot of the things are being translated from regional language or local language, from one language to mostly to English. And as you know all very well, that because of that, English is the language which is having the highest number of vocabulary, and which is being used extensively and intensively all over the world. But as we know that a lot of our Tamil literature is being translated in English, and as you know all very well that Thirukkural is one of the important such valuable book which is being translated in many languages, and it is also translated in English, and a lot of people are reading, even non-speaking, Tamil
No,
speaking, Tamil speaking people also. So at this juncture, this translation seminar will be giving a wonderful opportunity for you all to learn the nook and corners as well as tips of translation, and this seminar will make your translation most effective as well as take the information to various parts of the world. With these things, once again, I take this opportunity to congratulate Department of English and all the participants, and thank the resource person for this wonderful seminar. And I am sure that the day is going to be a wonderful, productive day. On top of that, it is going to be a most enjoyable day for which your resource person will be giving a lot of information. With these things, once again, I welcome you all. I thank you all for your wonderful participation in this seminar. Thank you very much. Over to you, Venkatesan sir.
thank you, sir. Thank you for your words of appreciation, sir. And we will take it as a motivational spirit in all the endeavors. And it's my bounden duty to introduce the resource person to the members. And today's resource person, Dr. L. Rajesh, Assistant Professor of English, Raja Sarfoji College, Tanjavur, is very close friend of mine. While I have gone through his profile, and it runs about nearly of 10 pages extremely. I will be very envy of him that he has been produced. He is such a very friendly man and lovable man, and he is very, very cordial in all respects. And we have a close association with over the period of time. And he has done his undergraduation at Raja Sarfoji Government College, Tanjavur, and done his post-graduation at Bharadasa University, Tiruchirappalli, and both his MPhil and his PhD on translation studies at Tamil University, Tanjavur, and he is a voracious reader, and I hope you will understand that you will agree with me while I am telling certain proofs at the later times. And he is, after completing his PhD, he has completely landed on the field of translation. He is in the field of translation for more than 20 years. It's a great, he has spent 2 decades of time in the field of translation studies. And there is an institute in Mysore, Central Institute of Indian Languages in Mysore. They have offered very many great projects worth than more than crores. And he is the one who is working as a project coordinator and project senior consultant for many projects. On the outcome of the project, he has a lexicographer. Basically, he is a lexicographer. He has produced more than one Longman dictionary, both English, Tamil, and English regular dictionary, and one that is a children's dictionary. There is a separate dictionary. The children's dictionary is there, and one grammatical dictionary is there, and one every language has its own diction. Medical dictionary and other court dictionary has many. Every field has their own dictionary, and he has compiling nearly of 4 dictionaries in his time so far, and he has produced many MPhil scholars, and he is a research guide, approved research guide of Bharadasa University for PhD program, and there are 7 candidates are registered under his guidance, and 2 of them are submitted, and one is yet to conduct the Viva Voce examination, and he has received the reports. And further, and he has apart from that, he has written the scripts, the film scripts, subtitle for many films and serials, and that is his major project. That is another major project undertaken by the resource person Rajesh. And he, in his credit, he has compiling 7 books so far, and paper presentation nationally and international level. He has published 43 papers, and as a resource person, he has chaired various sessions in various colleges and universities. And the greatest honor in his life is he is the steering committee member for Mysore, the international language university. He has received various grants. He has completed various minor research projects of Mysore University, language university. And he worked sometimes and translated many court documents. And a few months back, myself and Rajesh has a strong discussion, and he told me that many court registers, court registers has been translated into Tamil and other languages too. Tanjavur Tamil University has a separate branch of translation where they have applied many grants and for which Dr. Rajesh played a vital role as a steering committee member of many projects, as he told me. And further, that he has received various grants from his own college. Now, at present, Sarfuji, he is working in the Raja Sarfuji College, where he has conducted many lexicography workshop there itself. I too has participated while I am doing my PhD at Sarfuji College. And it's a very nice opportunity to learn some new things. And translation is not an easy talk, as we are saying that a translation is not easy talk. Some words we are searching for that. We cannot get equal translation, equal meaning in other language. For example, the word bhavam, you cannot expect the same meaning in the English also. Bhavam is Sanskrit word, bhavam, muha bhavanai expression, you know. And இதை தமிழ்ல கொண்டு போய் translate பண்ணோம்னா translation and transliteration and transcreation. I hope the resource person will do in the course of his lecture. And translation has various branches like translation, transliteration, and transcreation. Certain words can be translated and certain words can be transliterated. அப்படி இருக்கிறது mere அப்படி. Raja is a name. It should not be translated king. அப்படி transliterate with the noun இதெல்லாம் transliterate பண்றது. As our students has done in the WhatsApp, you know, in the recent scenario. What they feel they can transliterate. நாளைக்கு உண்டா அப்படி they have what they coming to the mind, they just translate it. So finding the equivalent word, the duty of the translator is very, very tough, because the translator is supposed to give the real essence of the source language. He may be the supplement, he is the supplement to the original, but he may not be, he cannot add anything more on his own. If in that case, it may come under the category of transcreation. And the translation study has a wide space. So this is the recently developed field. So we should have an insight over all the areas. I think the resource person is the apt person to address on the topic recent trends in translation, because he has spent more than 2 decades of time in translation. So he is the right appropriate man for the appropriate topic, I think. This is my justification. And I request on behalf of the principal, on behalf of the secretary, on behalf of management members, on behalf of the Department of English, on behalf of the IQAC, R&D cell, and my own behalf, I welcome the resource person. Over to you, Rajesh.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Venkatesan, sir.
Thank you, Rajesh.
Good morning, all of you. First of all, I would like to thank the secretary of ABC College and principal who was very much interested in organizing this program, and head of the Department of English, Dr. Meghanathan sir, and all the faculty members of English department, IQAC members, research and development cell, and all of my friends who are presenting here. I would like to thank for giving me this wonderful opportunity to have an interaction with you on translation. First of all, I would like to give a special thanks to my friend, Dr. Venkatesan, for organizing this program. Not only that, he has given the topic translation. If he has given some other topic, you know, in English literature, Indian writing in English, British literature, American literature, Afro-Caribbean literature, that might have been useful for your examination point of view. But this is completely different. He has given the topic translation, particularly recent trends in translation. It will be definitely useful for your career, for your life. So thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Venkatesan, for giving me this topic. If you think about translation, if you go back to the history, initially, translation was given much importance by the religious people, particularly Christians. They wanted to spread their religion. They wanted to translate Bible. That's what they took translation in their hands. And they took translation. Many languages they did translation. After some time, translation was taken by the linguist. They wanted to do the research on languages. They wanted to know many languages around the world. They took translation in their hands. So this is the second level. After some time, Comparatists, they took translation in their hands. They wanted to compare two literatures. They wanted to find the differences and similarities between the two literatures. That's what they took translation in their hands. Comparatist. It may be the French school of comparatist. It may be an American school of comparatist. They took translation in their hands. If there is no translation, comparative literature may not be possible. It is a history. If you look into the history, this kind of a dimensional translation has taken. Religious people took it, and then language people, then comparatists, they have taken translation in their hands. It is long back. But nowadays, the scene is completely different. The scenario is completely different. Everything is being translated. All the subjects, if the technical side, computer science is being translated, medicine is being translated, legal texts are being translated, religious texts are being translated. Now it has a business. It's a pakka business. So everywhere you can see some translation companies. If you go to the Pondicherry, there are some translation companies. If you go to Trichy, there are some translation company. Coimbatore, there are multinational translation companies over there. So now the translation is become so popular. There are a lot of demands are there for translation. So now this is a time. This is the right time to think about translation. Why we give much importance at this time? We have to understand two different terms. One is globalization, another one is localization. Once upon a time, whatever we think, whatever we do, whatever we produce, we did for a village. After some time, we did it for the state. After some time, we did it for our country. But now it is not like this. Whatever we think, we are thinking for the world. Whatever we produce, we wanted to take that product to the world market. We think globally. If you write a poem, we want to reach this poem to the world market. We want to reach many people. That's what now translation has become so popular. If you think about globalization, what is globalization? If you closely think about it, globalization is translation. If we think about ourselves, it is a Tamil to English translation. That's a globalization. If it is given in Tamil, that is local. If it is given in English, we are going to the world market. That's it. That's the scenario nowadays. That's what the translation has become so popular. But if you think about globalization, Tamil to English translation, we can't get more projects on that. The reason is that we don't take our product to the world market. We don't take our stories to the world market. We don't take our poems to the world market. So minimum, we are very minimum. That's what in Tamil to English translation are very minimum. But if you go to the localization, many projects have been done on localization. Even multinational companies, they are coming to us. The multinational companies, they wanted to give their product to the nook and corner of the world. They wanted to reach the village people. They wanted to give their product to the village. So they have to localize. Localization is simple. If you take, as for example, it will be English to Tamil. Many translations are being taking place nowadays. English to Tamil translation, because everything is being translated. Just if you think about anything, if you type something, if a single word, if you type in Tamil, you can get many pages. So if you understand these two different concepts, globalization and localization, you can understand the need of translation. Globalization is Tamil to English, so we have many minimum projects, but localization, we have many projects around the world because everybody is trying to reach every people. That's what localization has become so popular nowadays. So who can be the right translator? What are the qualities of the translator? Who can be the best translator? If you want to be a translator, you must keep in your mind, you should be bilingual. Bilingual, just simply you can take bilingual, who must know both languages. You must be good in Tamil and you should be good in English. Right? It's not so easy. You have to know all the elements of both languages. You should be very good in phonology, morphology, synonyms, syntax, antonyms, and the structure of the language, the grammatical patterns. You should be very good in all the aspects of both languages. So for example, if there is a translation company, if you translate a document, a page for example, the translator will translate. After some time, they will have the reviewer. We can say proofreader. It will go to the proofreader or the reviewer. He will review it. The reviewer's, the proofreader's responsibility, he has to find fault. He will be very keen in all the aspects of the languages. So we must be very careful about it. Simply we can't take it a bilingual, no, we must know both the languages. We should know the grammar completely. We must know all the aspects of both languages. The second point, if you want to be a translator, very good translator, you should be bicultural. Bicultural. Culture. We can't divide the culture from the language. Language, we can't say that a language alone. If there is a language, the culture will be there. If I say hi, I will be an English personality. I will have English culture. If I say vanakkam, vanangugren, so this is Tamil culture. Whatever we say, no, there will be some culture. Whatever the word, sittappa. So what is this? Here Tamil culture is there. Uncle, completely different. That's English culture. So in this way, whatever, so no, the culture is very important. We cannot divide the culture. So if you want to be a very good translator, you should know both the culture. Tamil culture at the same time, English culture. So here I would like to note one point. The students who are studying in a government colleges in the rural area can be the very good translator. Why I am telling this? In the rural area, the government college students, they might have studied from the first standard to 12th standard in Tamil medium. They will be very good in Tamil language. Not only that, they will be very good in Tamil culture because they have lived in villages. They will be very good in the culture. And after that, they join in English literature. I'm talking about English literature students. They will join in English literature. So the next 3 years, after 12th standard, 3 years and 2 years plus MPhil they did. So 6 years, they would have studied English very well. They would have studied many stories, many novels, many poems. They will be very good in English. They can be a very good translator. That's the point. Because they would have known the Tamil culture, they would have known English culture, they would have known English language very well, they would have known Tamil language very well. They would be very good translators. But you think about it. If there is a person who has studied in English medium school in Chennai, can he be a very good translator? He will be good in English, but he will not be good in Tamil. They may not write a single sentence in Tamil. So they cannot become a very good translators. If you take about our students here, in the rural area, they have studied in Tamil medium, they don't study English, they cannot be a very good translator because they may not know English very well. So the right person to do the translation are the students who are studying English literature. If they go and they know the nuances of translation, they can be the better translators. The next point I would like to say, manner and movements. If you want to be a translator, you should be updated. So if I want a text, I will translate this for the people who are living now. I may not translate for the last generation or the earlier generation. I'm not translating it to the future generation. I am translating it to the people who are living now. So I should be updated. If I'm not updated, I may not be a very good translator. I should know the movements. I should know the manner. What's happening in the society? What's the time it is? Once upon a time, they were telling mother. What happened after that? Mummy. Now what they are calling? Mom. I should know the trend. The point is that if you want to be a translator, you should be trendy. You should be on trend. You should be updated yourself. Then only you can achieve in translation. Then I would like to note a point. If you want to be a translator, you should be technically strong. You should know the technology. If you don't know the technology, you cannot be the translator, very good translator. Manually, we could not translate. Once upon a time, they translate only one page per day, it's okay. But nowadays, per day, they are translating many lakhs and lakhs of words. So we cannot manually translate it. We have to translate with the help of computer. If you want to translate it, you must know about the online tools which are available. Many tools are available online. If you want to be a translator, if you want to check the morphology, there are morphology analysis are there. Spell checkers are there. Even in Tamil spell checker is there. Dr. Devasundaram sir has done it. Tamil spell checker is there. English, many spell checkers are there. Some translation tools, Trados, Burnett, many tools are there. Even Google translation is here. With the help of all these tools, number of online dictionaries. If there is a tool now for helping the translators, we can have all the dictionaries in our screen. Just 50% of the work as a translator you have to do. Another 50% that you can get the help from the internet through the online. That will help. But 100% Google Translation may not give you. 50% Google Translation will be perfect. Next 50%, with the help of your knowledge, with the help that you know about the culture, you can do it. The last one point I would like to make, the eligibility for the translator. The translator should be creative. If the creative writer can be the very good translator. If you are not a creative writer, your translation will be somewhat vague. If you are a creative writer, if you can think, the translation will be perfect. You can be the very good expert. You can be good in computer science. If you want to translate a computer textbook, you should be good in computer science. You must know about computer science. If I am translating about mobile technology, I should know about mobile technology. If I am not good in mobile technology, how can I translate it? So, if you are translating a literate text, you should be a creative writer. If you are translating a science text, you should be very good in science. Then only you can be a very good translator. Just now I have talked about eligibility to be a good translator. What are the things are necessary? So you keep in your mind, you should be bilingual, bicultural, trendy, technically sound, and you should have a creative mind to become a translator. This we can think about what is translation. Many scholars have discussed about translation. So for the great scholar who has done a research on translation is Naida. Naida, he says, translation is not a one-to-one way. So you have to take the source language. After taking the source language, the next level you have to analyze. You have to analyze the text. That is the second level. So you go through the source language, then analyze. Analysis. What are the things are there? You have to take time for analysis. The next level you have to transfer. Transferring is the third level. Straight away you read and you should not transfer to the another language. First you must analyze the text, and then you have to transfer, and then you must make the restructuring. You have to make the restructuring. You must make it appropriate for the target language. If you are translating from English to Tamil, first we have to read the text and we have to analyze the text, and then we must translate it into Tamil. After translating it, we must keep away the source language. We must come back to the target language. We have to read every line. According to the Tamil culture, we must restructure it, and then we must bring to the target language. This is a process. We don't take it as the translation is so easy. What we get it, we can translate it. It's not so easy. We should be very careful. So that's what Naida says. It's a many process are there. Analysis, transfer, and restructuring. Then only it will come to the target language. J.C. Catford, and another greatest scholar who worked on translation. He thought many ideas, theories. He says that translation is it's not simple. It is a conversion of meaning. Here he talks about many things about meaning. We have to convert the meaning. If there is a sentence, there will be different meanings. The language will be completely different, but the meaning will completely be different. We must look into the meaning. So we are the literature people. If you take a poem, for example, the words will completely different. The meaning will be completely different. For example, so Robert Frost, the famous American poet, he has written a poem, Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening. You just look into the last two words. Miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. See, the same lines are there, but the meaning is completely different. The first line, the meaning is different, and the second line, the meaning will be completely different. This is the last sleep, right? You must know this. So if you are a very good translator, you should take both the meaning to the target language. Right, one more poem we can take. Robert Frost, the same writer, the same poet who has written, Road Not Taken. Two roads diverged in yellow woods, and sorry, I could not travel both. And be one traveler, long I stood and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth, then took the other just as far. In this way, this poem will be going. If you read the first time, if you go into the poem, we will get the first level of meaning. We'll be thinking about, the poet is talking about the road. He's talking about the road. He's going on the road. There are two roads. He's confused on that point. Which road he has to take? This road and that road. And finally, he decides one road that is so good. So this is a poem. This is the meaning of the poem. This is the first meaning. But if you go into the second level, the poet is talking about the options in our life. In our life, we will have two options. So which options we have to take? First one or second one? So we will be confusing. At the end, we will take one option. So this is what he is going to talk about. This is the second level of meaning. Third level of meaning, we can take it. We can face any problem in our life. So for example, we are going to the stock. We are going to anywhere else. So we are going to purchase something. So which one we have to purchase? This shirt or this shirt? Is a red one or a green one? We'll be confusing. And finally, we'll decide anyone. Right? So whenever we are facing some problem, we can connect that with a poem. So it is a third level of meaning. So a poem, it has 3 levels of meaning. If you are a very good translator, you have to take 3 levels of meaning into the target language. So here the point, J.C. Catford says, you have to take the meaning, you have to convert the meaning from one language to the another language. That will be the good translation. You should not concentrate on the words, the linguistic point of view. The linguist, they will concentrate on what is noun, what is pronoun, what is adjective, is it a preposition or not, like this. This is the linguistic point of view. The translator will be a linguist, but at the same time, he should take the meaning, the semantics. He has to look into the semantics of the sentences, and he has to take it to the talker language. That's a point given by J.C. Catford. One more point he says. The translation is an operation performed on languages. He says that if a doctor who is going to operate, what he will do? He will check the entire organs, entire body. He will take the history of the patient. And he will check everything, and then he will go into the operation. He will have everything, all the instruments he will have. So, and then he will go for the operation. Likewise, translation is an operation performed on languages. It is also an operation, but it's different. It is done on languages. If you want to translate a text, after taking the text, you should go back. Who has written this? At what time he has written? What is his background? What is the poem he has written earlier to that novel? You must collect everything, and then you have to translate it. That's what he says. It's like operation performed on languages. One more translator is very famous. He has done a lot of research on translation. Is Susan Bassett. If you are a good translation, if it is a good translation, we should ask 3 questions. What does the author say? What does he mean? How does he say? These are the 3 questions. If you get answer to these 3 questions, your translation will be perfect. What does the author say? What he said? What is the language? What is the words which he has used? So in the street, we can see some girls will be making a call to his to her 5 boyfriends. They will be telling, in Tamil, I explain it. Hey, naai enga irukka? This will be the sentence. What does he mean? What does she mean? What is the meaning? If you look into it, here the word naai is used by the girl, but the meaning will be sweetheart, like sweetie. But the word is completely different. The word will be dog, but the meaning will be sweetheart. How does he say? How? What is the diction? What is the tone? What is the register? That will change the meaning. So normally we will be telling nallaru. So if we change the tone, the meaning will be different. Nallairu, nallaru. So what will be the meaning? The meaning will be completely different. So Susan Bassett says, if it is a good translation, we have to find answer to these 3 questions. What does he say? What does he mean? How does he say? One more. The Horst French is a scholar in the field of translation. He asked the question, translation, is it imitation or creative? This is the point he thinks. Translation, sometimes if it is a literary text, it will be creative. But if it is a science text, it will be imitative. But the percentage will be different. Exactly, we should not be creative. If you are all the time creative, the original writer will go. Original writer will not be there. So we should be creative, but at the same time, we should be imitative. The translation stands, if it is a line, one side 150% is the creative, 150% will be the imitative. It stands somewhere between the two. That's what he says. Translation is not imitative, it's not creative. It stands somewhere between the two, according to the translator, according to the text. These are some points about the theories that the greatest scholars on translation. So now let's think about kinds of translation. Many kinds of translations are there, but I have taken some points from the greatest personality they have discussed. Roman Egopshin is the greatest scholar. He talked about 3 translations: intralingual translation, interlingual translation, intersemiotic translation. What is this intralingual translation? Intralingual translation, it is interpretation of verbal signs from one language to the same language. He says that from one language to the same language is also called a translation. What it is? The Tamil teacher will come to the class. He will write on the board, Venba. He will explain it. Can you understand as a school children? It may not be possible. Then he will start explaining in Tamil itself. What is this? This is also translation. That Egoption says. So from one language to the same language will be the translation. Old English to the Middle English will also be the translation. Yeah, we have Chennai Tamil. Chennai Tamil will be translated to the proper Tamil will also be the translation. Sri Lankan Tamil can be translated from proper Tamil. Singapore Tamil it is there. So I got some documents to be translated from Singapore Tamil to proper Tamil. It will be there. So this is also called a translation. Lots of translation projects are there. We have to change that proper Tamil to Sri Lankan Tamil. If the document is sent to Sri Lanka, so we must make it into Sri Lankan Tamil. So for that we must know about Sri Lankan Tamil. Then only we can do it. But this is also called a translation. Egopson says intralingual translation. Next, interlingual translation. What it is? It is a proper translation. We are translating from one language to the other language. It is a proper translation. Proper translation, he says that interlingual translation. Next one, intersemiotic translation. This in future it will be so popular. Interpretation of verbal signs to non-verbal sign system. There may be the text. The text can be translated into non-text. For example, music, dance, some other forms, mime like this. So if the text can be converted into non-verbal sign system is called intersemiotic translation. Definitely it will be popular in future. Because once upon a time we read the novel, we read the stories, but nowadays we forgot it. So we are watching everything on YouTube. Okay, no need to waste time. We can watch everything on YouTube like this. So what will happen in future? Everything will be watching. Sometimes we will leave it. Okay, no need to watch. We can have some other forms. Some dance, mime, drawing, music like this. That is called intersemiotic translation. So he has discussed 3 types of translation: interlingual translation, intralingual translation, intersemiotic translation. Next, English literature students might have been very aware of it as John Dryden. He has translated many books. After translating it, he has given 3 types of translation. It's completely different. He says that metaphrase. Metaphrase is a kind of translation. What is this metaphrase? Direct translation. So nowadays, some companies, they are asking, you must give the direct translation. If it is a scientific document or legal document, they will ask, you have to translate directly. You should not miss a single word. Every word should be translated to the talker language. This is direct translation, but Dryden is not supporting to the direct translation. Translation should not be metaphrase. He supports paraphrase. Paraphrase is that a paragraph will be there. You want to give the content to the target language. No need to follow each and every word. So we can leave the words. It is not a word-to-word translation. It is a meaning. Sense-to-sense translation is called the paraphrase. Word-to-word translation is called the metaphrase. So Dryden supports paraphrase. If there is a text which is given to you, you have to concentrate on the meaning. What is the message? What is the matter? That matter should be given in the target language. If there is a 1 page, can be 2 pages. Why not? Our languages will be completely different. So 1 page can be translated into 2 pages and 3 pages. Why not? It can be accepted. Who says it? John Dryden says. Last one is called imitation. Imitation, free translation. We can do as per our wish. The company will not allow for a free translation, imitation. But if you have written a story, you are translating it to another language, so you can be free. You can change anything. So you can change the climax, you can change the first scene, whatever you can do it. You can add, you can delete it. You can do many things when you are doing, so imitation. If it is a free translation. So I have seen some translation. That is a book written by Shakespeare. He has translated Shakespeare itself. Normally, the proper nouns should not be translated. Names should not be translated. It is a rule. Measurements should not be translated. Something we have, so we should not translate it. He translated Shakespeare into Jacob period. It also has happened. This is imitation, but John Dryden is not supporting imitation, or he's not supporting direct translation. So we do it. Normally we are concentrating on word-to-word translation. This is a word, how to translate in another language. It's not okay. We have to explain it. You can see the dictionaries. So Dr. Yeah, there is a dictionary called Oxford Dictionary. Oxford Dictionary, recently there is an English to Tamil dictionary is there. In that dictionary, they are not translating English to Tamil. There will be a word, the explanation will only be there in the dictionary. Yeah, so we must concentrate on the meaning itself, not the word. So we should not, when you are a very good translator, you should not think about the word-to-word translation. That is the point Dryden says. So we can think about some problems of translation. What will be the problems? So when we are translating, we will face many problems. A lot of problems will come across. We have to face. Something will be untranslatable. Untranslatability will occur definitely when we are translating it. What is the reason? First point, the structure of the language. Simply we say that language. No two languages will be same. All the languages will definitely be different in the structure, the format, in the grammar. Definitely it will be different. How can we translate directly from word to word? What is this in English? Subject, verb, object. This will be the pattern of us. But Tamil, subject, object, verb. Think about English. Subject, verb agreements will be so easy. If it is third person singular, we have to add yes, that's right. That's all. But think about Tamil, subject, verb agreement will be very difficult. For each and every subject, we have to change the verb. The verb will be changing. So how can we translate directly from one word to another word? So there will be some problems. If anyone asks direct translation, the language structure will be the problem. Language will be the problem. Every two languages will be very difficult. We can't take one language to another language. That's the biggest problem. The language problem will be there on all the levels. So in English, we can see a lot of complex sentences. In Tamil, we will be having some simple sentences. It will be there. So it will be. Second problem will be the culture. We have already discussed. We have completely different culture. How can we translate this culture into target language? English. We are telling that not tali kattu, tali, kaadu kuthudal, air boring ceremony, whatever it is. No, we are culture based. The Tamil people, Indians, we are culturally bound. So we can't be divided from the culture. Every word we use, there will be some culture. How to take this culture into target language? Okay, tali kattu. So we can take it a ring, like this we can translate. What about kaadu kuthudal? Air boring. If we tell air boring, how they will understand? Kolam podudal, kungumam idudal. How can we take it? It will be somewhat very difficult. So we will face some kind of a problem like this. And we have a lot of missing terms. Traditionally, some words in our practical life, we are using in English only. Chudidar, jeans, like this. Lots of words are there. Traditionally, we are using those words in English only. If anyone asks us to translate to English, what to do? If we translate, how they will understand? Okay, we can translate, we can give any new terms, we can create, we can coin new words, new terms. But will they understand? The English people, they have to understand. There will be the biggest problem. But someone will tell that, oh, you should not transliterate. So some companies, they will allow transliteration. But most of the companies, they will not allow transliteration. It will be pure Tamil. We are giving much respect to the language, you know. They will ask us, you should not transliterate. So there we will have lots of problems. Is it translated or not? Like this kind of a missing terms. And technical terms. Here we have an important problem. Technical terms, particularly the mobile technical terms, I would like to give a few examples. Facebook, shall we translate or not? Facebook is the name of the company. A company, it has given a name to its company. Can we translate it? But we have translated. It has become so popular. Mukhan Nool, we have translated. Straight away, word to word, we have translated. But if we are going to London, wherever they are, we are telling that Mughal, how can they understand? How can we change the name of the company into other language? But if it is not, we are asking, Tamilians, we are asking the question. So Facebook is a word again and again we are using. Why we should use the English word in our life? Whatever we speak, we will speak only Tamil. So there we will translate it to our wish and we will use it. So there is two questions over there. Which one is right or not? The company names can be translated or not. Someone says it can be translated. Someone says it should not be translated. It is a name. Name should not be translated. Lots of arguments are there. But we have translated Facebook, but we don't translate Google. We don't translate likewise the Microsoft. Can we translate Google into our languages? Can we translate Microsoft to our languages? WhatsApp is there. WhatsApp. So it's an application. So they, to share information, they had a application like WhatsApp. They wanted to give a name. What name they have to give? They take some time. What's up there? What is happening there? We want to know what's happening there. What's up UPF? What's up there? So they took that term, but they are generating application. They mingled it together. Blend words. We have many blend words. In English, we can have many blend words. Motorway, hotel, motor like this. EduSat, educational satellite like this. Likewise, they blend the words. We mixed two words together. What's up plus application. We mingled it together. Then it became WhatsApp. Can we translate it? Some translations are available for this. A lot of translations. Pulanam, they have translated. Pakirvi, Pakirvanchal. So many translations are available for WhatsApp. Is it right or not? We don't know. Hey, think about the Bluetooth. Bluetooth, nice word. It's a technology. To share information, we are using Bluetooth. How they had a name? There is a famous king, generous king, Norway and Denmark, I think so. The king name is Bluetooth. He's very generous. Whatever he had given this to the poor people. The kind of a king he is. His name is Bluetooth. So this also, if you have a Bluetooth, you can share the information in your mobile to another person. That's what they had a name Bluetooth. Can we translate it? How to translate? Bluetooth. Can we translate Neelapal? Or shall we think about Bluetooth kind of a person? Yeah, here we had Pari Vallal. Can we have Pari or Vallal? What to do? This is the biggest problem we have here. Technical terms. Can we translate it or not? Here will be a lot of problems will be there. If you translate it, it will be standardized or not. The last point I would like to say, whenever we are translating, our personal, social, and geographical factors will affect. If a text is given, for example, I'm telling, if a text is given to the 5 years old boy, he will translate in his level. If the same text is given to a 10 years old boy, he will translate it in his own level. If it is given to me, I will translate in a different way. Definitely, our personality will affect the translation. No two translators can translate the same way. Their personality, their social and geographical factors will affect. So, there is a poem written by T.S. Eliot, Wasteland. I took the poem I read in the lockdown period. The first line is, April is the cruelest month. I started thinking about, T.S. Eliot has also known about in the pandemic. That's what he has written like this. Because April is a very good month there in England. So we started thinking about it. If we are in the pandemic period, so we are in the lockdown period, the psychology will be different. If I translate in this kind of a situation, the translation will definitely be different. If I am here, my translation will be different. The geography will also affect. So it's proved. The personal, social, and geographical factors will definitely affect the translation. But if it is a very good, it's a problem. How to solve it? We should leave our personality. We should come out from our personality. So we should be a completely different personality. We should go into the writer. So we should have the mindset of the writer. So we can solve the problems, but it will take some time. These are the problems faced by the translators. Structure in the language, culture, missing terms, technical terms, personal, social, and geographical factors will also affect the translation. These are the major issues. But what are the things we have to concentrate when we translate? The first point we should keep in our mind. Nowadays, in the practical translation, this is the point you should keep in our mind. Consistency should be maintained. Consistency is the point. In the colleges, when we are working on invigilation, we take the question for any subject. So normally, other than English and Tamil, there will be translation. The question, English questions, English will be there, Tamil will also be there. Both the version will be there. There will be some technical terms. 2 mark question, the same term will be used. 5 mark question, the same term will be used. And 10 mark questions and the term will be there. But if you look into the translation, the 3 will be different. First, there will be a different translation. Second, there will be a different translation. Third, there will be a different translation. This should be avoided. If you want to do a right translation, if you give an equivalent to a particular word, so that should be maintained throughout the text. Consistency, that's a word we should keep in our minds. If you translate God, somebody will put Kadavul. In the next place, there will be Iraivan. The next place, there will be Andavan. Which one is right? There will be some differences in the meaning. We don't go into the meaning. But if you translate word, that should be maintained throughout the text. So the accuracy, whatever you are translating, whatever you are getting the help from, the accuracy and consistency should be maintained. So we should not mistranslate. We can see some text. If you compare the translated textbooks, there is a very difficult portion in English that in the translation that will not be there. Mistranslations will be there. So we should not be like this. If you're a very good translator, everything should be translated. Accurately, you have to translate it. If you leave something, that will not be good translation. Somebody, they will be a very good translator. He should have known many things. If he translated, he will over-translate it. So the original writer did not give this point. That's what I can give this point like this. He will give his own idea also. This is over-translation. Sometimes ambiguity, unclear translation they will give. So unclear translation should be avoided. If I get some projects for reviewing, and the text will be completely unclear. So what is this? Is it Tamil or not? We'll be confused on that if you go through. So these are the things we should avoid. So we have to concentrate on consistency. We should concentrate on accuracy and clarity in concept. Whatever the text, it can be a science or economics or literature, whatever it is. In the text, there will be a concept. If you are doing a translation, your concentration should be on the concept. You have to translate the concept. Concept should be very clear in the target language. Your concentration should be on the concept. If you leave the concept, the translation may not be good. Simple in languages. Already I told you, English will be very difficult. A lot of complex sentences will be there, but it's a long back. Nowadays, anyone who wants to read a textbook, they want to understand as quickly as possible. We can break the complex sentences into simple sentences. We can break into many sentences, we can translate, but make it very simple. The translation should be so easy. In a glance, they have to understand. Last point, readability and flow. If you translate something, whoever reads, the readability should be there. The flow should be there. If there is no flow, if there is no readability, the translation will not be good. We have to translate. We have to translate on readability. We have to think about the readability. The readability, if there is no readability, that is not considered as a good translation. Here, I would like to make a point. If it is a very good translation, the translation should not look like a translation. It should look like an original. That is called a very good translation. If anyone finds that it is a translation, that is not a good translation. Good translation should not be called as a translation. It should be original. It should look like original. So I'm coming to the last. If you want to translate something, if you want to get some projects, lots of projects are available. You can understand in the lockdown period, the demand for translator has many. So we have many. So the need of translations are more because of the lockdown period. So for example, we can take It's about cinema, no problem. So in the proper time, Vijay's master is not released. So you know what they are doing? They are making this film to many Indian languages. They are planning to dub this movie into many Indian languages. Someone else who is sitting there who is translating to Kannada, Malayalam, and many languages. Marathi also. So they are doing, so this kind of work is taking place. So many books are being translated. They are interested in translation at this time. So the demand of translation is more. If you want to get translation projects, there are many websites, many agencies are there. But I had a PowerPoint, I could not display you, but I can send to your mail. You put in our chat box. I can give you some agency names. Pros.com is there, very famous company. So for many years it is there. For 30 years they are working on translation. They are giving translation education, translation training. They are giving translation projects to the translators. Now you keep in your mind, translators are not available for Tamil. They are searching for translator. If you are a very good translator, if you register your name in pros.com database, you can get the translation projects. Not only pros.com, translation directory is there, a translation database is there, NTM, National Translation Mission is there. They have their own database. Likewise, if you Google translation agencies, number of agencies are there. You can register your name. If they get translation project from the companies, they will give you. Every day you can get the project. And there are some translation companies. They have their own translators, but we can register ourselves as a translator there. No, we can get projects. If they are getting more projects, they will give to us. They will have a database for freelance translators. We can sit at home and we can work. Right. Lots of companies. Lionbridge is an international company. They have their own office in Chennai, Coimbatore, like this. After some time, we can have that company in our place also. If here are some translators, definitely they will start the translation companies. So it is Lionbridge is there. The Big Word is there. As Venkatesan sir said, subtitling. Nowadays, not only cinemas, all the serials are being subtitled. Serials, you know, the famous serials, successful serials in America are being dubbed into Tamil. Somebody is sitting there, they are doing subtitling projects. They will give a technical support. So, lots of tools are there. With the help of the tools, we can subtitling projects are there. Lots of subtitling projects are there. You can ask me, sir, how much they will give. If for one movie, you can get 20,000 rupees for subtitling. Think about it. 3 days, you can complete that work. For translation itself, if you translate for one word, minimum amount is 1 rupee per word. That's a thing is happening. 1 rupee for translating one word, you can get 1 rupee. If your translation is very good, you can get 1 rupee 50 paise, 1 rupee 70 paise. Even you can charge 2 rupees also. If you get projects from foreign countries directly, you can get in dollars. You just calculate it. For 500 words, you can get 1,000 rupees. Is it not possible to translate 500 words in a day? So lots of opportunities are there. Lots of websites are there. It should be somewhat technically good. You should have a quality to do the good translation. If you have given a good translation, definitely you can get many projects. So only one, I would like to give a Tamil poem, which is written by Mahakavi Bharati. With that, I would like to conclude my session. புத்தம் புதிய கலைகள் பஞ்சபூத செயல்களின் நுட்பங்கள் கூறும் மெத்த வளருது மேற்கே அந்த மேன்மை கலைகள் தமிழில் இல்லை சொல்லவும் கூடுவதில்லை சொல்லும் திறமை தமிழ் மொழிக்கில்லை சொல்லவும் கூடுவதில்லை சொல்லும் திறமை தமிழ் மொழிக்கில்லை என்றந்த பேரை உரைத்தான் சென்றிடுவீர் எட்டத்திற்கும் கலை செல்வங்கள் யாவும் கொணர்ந்திங்கு சேர்ப்பு. This is an advice that Bharati has given to us. Someone else who is telling that we could not give the technology in Tamil language, but he said as go and collect all the technical terms, you translate it to all the to the regional language Tamil. This is a point. This is advice Mahakavi Bharati has told us. We will follow it. So thank you very much for giving this wonderful opportunity.
Thank you, Dr. Rajesh, for your wonderful talk. For your talk will enrich us in various areas. There are many areas still is flourishing. Still is to be going to be flourished. And I hope this lecture will be very useful for the This lecture will be very useful for the scholars, and researchers, people who are aspiring to do research on translation. And I hope this will be the warming up for the new scholars. And I hope all the audience will agree with me that I am preparing the appropriate man for the appropriate title. I hope he has spent 2 decades of time in the field of translation. I hope you will agree with me. And he is a great source of inspiration for all of us. And thank you, Dr. Rajesh, for sparing your valuable time with us and sharing your valuable thoughts. And I hope it will be very useful for all the participants. And this is a time for questions and any clarifications you want, or anybody wants to add any complimentary points towards it. Kindly, most welcome. I request all the participants, please switch on the mic. Please unmute the mic to converse.
Thank you, Venkatesan sir. But
Thank
actually,
you.
I had a PowerPoint. I could not display it. I can send I can send the links that is related to translation companies. You just mail me. Otherwise, you put in the chat box. I can read it. I can send you.
Okay, Rajesh. And now it's a time for opening and clarifying your doubts. And anybody wants to add any comment over it, please, most welcome.
If there are students who are doing MA English literature, you can do MPhil and PhD in translation. It is there in Tamil University, Tanjavur, and Hyderabad also it is there. So to do a research on machine translation, it's a nice field. No, the future is there for translation. You can do, if you want to do a research, you can do the translation. Center of Translation, it is there in Hyderabad University and Tamil University also. You can do it. Okay. Any questions?
We expect questions from the participant to clarify the doubts or supplement this lecture.
Good morning, Venkesh and Chandrasekhar.
Very good morning, sir. Very good morning.
Well, it was a nice presentation by Dr. Rajesh. I congratulate him on his wonderful presentation. Sir, I would like to have I have a small doubt, sir.
Yes, sir.
As far as translation is concerned, we say that Susan Bennett happens to be one of the pioneers as well as almost the father of translation. In his translation studies, he's discussed various areas. And what I would like to know is, does a translator has to strictly confine himself to literary translation alone, or whether he can go out with other areas?
Yeah. Literary.
Hello.
Yeah. There are some disturbances. Sir,
okay.
When you are translating a literary text, you can't give a literal translation. If we translate literature directly, that is what I told you. Literal translation is not possible to the literature side. If it is scientific, we can have a literal translation. Scientific, we can't give our ideas, our points. No, we can't make adorations like this. So, literal translation is possible for science text translation. But for the literature side, it is not possible. So, as per our culture, we can translate. Sir, is it okay, sir?
Yes, thank you, sir. It's fine. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We may expect queries from students.
Good morning.
Yes.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. I'm Dr. Amalan from AVC College, Department of Botany.
Good morning,
I
sir.
would like to thank the Department of English as well as all the organizers for arranging such a wonderful webinars. Really, we could learn many things from your talk. Actually, my question is, what are the different tools in online as well as in offline for a translation? Because we've been using Google Translation, Big Translator, Bing, and Ling, and other things. Being a science man, I just want to know which is suitable for science terms for translation, particularly English to Tamil.
Sir, actually, yes, nice question. Sir, there are a lot of tools are available online, but for that we have to pay. WordNet and Trados, these are all the famous translation tools. But for this, we have to purchase. But so there are some disturbances. WordNet, Trados, these are the tools which are used by the famous translation companies. So they will have all the dictionaries by the side. So if a paragraph is to be translated, if anything we have already translated, that itself will take and bring it to us. It will give some synonyms, some antonyms, all the elements will be there. But for us, it should be paid, sir. Paid will be the money we have to pay more for that. It will be like lakhs. We have to get from dollars we have to pay. But apart from this, Google Translation is okay, sir, for scientific translation. Google Translation is okay because they have given all the technical term dictionary into it. So I have worked on when they are translating nouns, I have worked for Google Translation. So nowadays the best is Google Translation. When comparing all other tools, many tools are there. But if you want to get some Tamil tools, it is not coming online. Free softwares are not there. But spell checker for Tamil is there. Dr. Devasundaram sir, he has worked it, but he has on his own. But we have to request, we have to get it. But nowadays, in my point, all the technical terms are very good there in Google Translation. So we can get part of the translation from Google and then we have to translate it. So we can't rely completely on the technical points, on the technical side.
Thank you so much, sir. We have been using Google Translation only, but some of the words I'm not able to get from it. That's why I asked.
Every day they are improving, sir. This is like a corpus-based technique they are using. Every day they are giving lots of corpus into Google, sir. Google Translation for that program, they are getting words which are translated everywhere. They are collecting, they are inputting it. After some time, it will be good. But compared with the Google Translation, other tools are not to that level. I have compared it to some tools I have used, but Anugridi, there is a tool which is created by central government, but it is not to that level. Nowadays, its best is Google Translation, but it will give a 50% of translation. Other 50% we have to do.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Blessed to have you. And once again, I thank Department of English. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Dr. Venkatesh.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello, sir. Yes.
It is K.R. Sangran from Department of History, AVC College. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You proceed.
Good morning, sir.
Can I be heard?
Yes, yes.
Can I be heard?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
I appreciate Dr. Venkatesh and Dr. Rajesh for the nice presentation.
Thank you.
I have no questions, but I want to supplement some views relating to this topic.
Okay, sir. Pleasure.
Because he is a translator. Because he has translated 2 books.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Welcome you, sir.
In the introductory note, Dr. Venkatesh said that it is a emerging and a new discipline. I hope it is not so. For instance, Iliad and Odyssey, the greatest epic,
yes, sir.
are originally written in Greek.
Yes.
Then these two were translated into Old Latin. Both the Latin and the Greek were the classical languages.
Okay, sir.
From Latin, these were translated into English. Here I want to raise a question.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Go ahead.
There may be some, because the Greek is the mistranslation. Data language, English is the targeted language. In between, there was a Latin. So exact translation, in other words, we can say a close translation is impossible, as I translated some of the books written by professors from JNU. It is my experience that close translation is impossible. That is one aspect. Even during the ancient period, in the history of Tamil Nadu also, the greatest 2 epics were translated. For instance, as early as from the 5th century AD, Mahabharatam was translated into Tamil from Sanskrit.
Yes, sir.
It was commissioned by the Pandyas of Madurai.
Okay.
Similarly, in Tanjavur region under the Cholas, the Ramayana was translated. But it was, we can say it was a transcreation, not an exact translation, because as you said in your course of talk,
okay, sir.
in Kambaram.
Hello. Hello. Sir, it's not audible.
Hello.
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 It's not,
Rajesh, I think there is.
yeah, it's not audible.
Mayanam Kambar never missed our culture.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Can I be heard?
Literature. You may be. Hello? Hello?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, there are some.
Yes, sir, you can be heard.
Yeah, for the
Sir,
data,
you can be heard.
yeah, for the database, I can say Dr. Jayadevan from University of Madras. Dr.
Yes, yes,
Jayadevan, formerly he worked with Professor Devasundaram.
Yes,
Both of them created a database, I think so.
yes, sir.
One more point. In course of your lecture, you said a word Google cannot be translated.
I don't say that it cannot be translated, but we are using Google as Google, but we have translated Facebook, sir. But I don't say that it is not.
Okay. From the adjective, we can translate googling eyes. We have usage googling eyes.
Okay, sir.
தேடுகின்ற கண்கள், ஆமா, தேடும் கண்கள் அப்படிங்கிற பொருளை நம்ம அதை சொல்றோம், கூகுளிங் ஐஸ் அப்படிங்கறத. தேடல் அப்படின்னு மொழிபெயர்த்துக்கலாம், I can recommend some of the dictionaries.
Sir,
Kriya dictionary.
Sir, as an experienced translator, sir, what's your view on translating Google and Facebook, sir? Will you agree that translating Google into Tamil and Facebook into Tamil, WhatsApp into Tamil? Will you agree that?
Everything have to be done. I think so. Everything have to be done. Then only it has to be. Then only it has to be popularized.
Yes.
If I can give you an example, in 1940s and the 50s, when the aeroplane was introduced in Tamil Nadu, there was no exact word. ஆகாய விமானம் அப்படின்னு நம்ம மொழிபெயர்க்கல. ஆகாய கப்பல் அப்படின்னு தான் மொழிபெயர்த்தோம். But it took some time to have exact word. ஆகாய விமானம் அப்படிங்கிறதுக்கு வந்துட்டோம் நம்ம. அதே போல ராக்கெட்டுக்கு நம்ம வானூர்தின்னு சொன்னோம். வானத்துல ஊற முடியாது, தரையில தான் ஊற முடியும். ஒன்று. அதே போல ரேடியோ அப்படிங்கிற சொல்ல வந்து மொழிபெயர்க்க முடியாது. வானொலி இஸ் நாட் அட் ஆல் எக்ஸாக்ட் டிரான்ஸ்லேஷன். ரேடியோ அப்படிங்கிறது இன்ன வரையும் அதை வந்து சயின்டிஸ்ட் மொழிபெயர்க்கல. ஃபார் இன்ஸ்டன்ஸ் ஐ கேன் சே ப்ரொஃபசர்
சார், இப்போ புகைவண்டி தொடர்வண்டி ஆயிட்டு, தொடர்வண்டி தொடரி ஆயிடுச்சு. சார், are you there?
Hello.
Sir, are you there?
I think there is some disturbance in the line.
There are some disturbances. So for others, I can say that
from Anna universities accepted that. Hello. அது சரியான மொழிபெயர்ப்பு நம்ம கண்டுபிடிச்சறோம். You may be familiar with the Professor Ramasundram.
Yes.
You may be familiar with Professor Ramasundram from Tamil University.
Yes, sir. I'm so familiar with them.
Yeah, we can say we can.
Sir, in my talk, I told about Oxford Dictionary from English to Tamil that was done by Jayadevan sir. When he was doing we discussed a lot about Oxford Dictionary. They say Jayadevan sir and Devasundaram. I'm in touch with Devasundaram sir and Ramasundram also. I'm so happy to meet you, sir.
Ramasundram took many mission to translate books written from English into Tamil, particularly the medical science and books on engineering works also. So these are my observations.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you for giving me a time. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you for your comments, supplementing words. Any queries from the participant?
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Morning, sir.
Hello, I am Dr. K. Meganavar, HOD of English.
Sir, good morning, sir. Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Very good. You have done a wonderful job. First of all, I thank you for having accepted our invitation and done the wonderful thing for our students as well as those who have registered for it. Right.
Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
One question. Translators are mostly concerned with the words. They
Yes,
try
sir.
to find the equivalent for the words. But
Yes,
my
sir.
question is, what about the structure? In Google Translation, when we give the complex sentences, somewhat lengthy sentences, the translation is not perfect. Is there
Yes,
any
sir.
effort in the structural problem in translating?
Sir, this is a right question, sir, right? But actually, when we are, sir, there are some disturbances. So the Google translation, the problem with the Google translation, they are not good in the syntax. Sentence structure is, in Google translation, sentence structure will not be clear in Tamil. So that's the problem.
Yes, sir.
They are updating, sir. It is a Google translation. They are updating themselves, sir. Regularly, they are updating. They are giving corpus into it, sir. After some time, they will be right. But nowadays, Google translation will be 50% right. But the technical terms will be right. But
It is more
sentence structure will not be
Uh.
right, sir. Tamil sentence pattern will not be there in Google translation. That will be equivalent to English. The structure will be completely different. No, so whatever so noun will go end. Now, so actually the noun should be in the beginning, but it will be in the end. So the phrases will be confusing. But that's what I told in my speech. 50% of translation will be right on Google translation. 50% manually we should do it, sir. We have to concentrate on the structure of the sentence when we translate from Google, sir.
Then only it will become perfect. So we must give importance both to the words as well as vocabulary to the under sentences. I mean,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
that's why presence. Thank you.
Thank you for
sir.
your
Thank you.
observation, sir.
Thank you, Dr. James, sir. Thank you.
Thank you for your observation, sir.
Thank you.
Any queries from the parts? Any queries from?
Chandrasekhar again, Venkatesh.
Yes, sir. Please.
Sir, Sir Rajesh, Mr. Rajesh, sir?
Sir, good morning, sir.
Yeah. That is, the old school of thought says it is Moli Payarpu. The old people, they do call it as Moli Payarpu, but Dr. Chelapan calls it as Moli Yakam. Is there any subtle difference between Moli Payarpu and Moli Yakam?
Yeah, it's completely different, sir. Translation and transcreation. Translation from this is it. Moli Yakam will be the equivalent to transcreation. Transcreation. So here we can, if it is Moli Yakam, நம்ம எதை வேணாலும் சேர்த்துக்கலாம். ஏதோ நம்ம சேஞ்ச் பண்ணிக்கலாம். But translation theory நம்ம வந்துட்டு translate தான் பண்ணணும். Exactly what is there, that should be there in the talker language. Moli பெயர்ப்பு, translation,
transcreation, and another one, 3T.
Yes, and then transliteration is there. Transliteration. That is Oli பெயர்ப்பு.
Okay.
Oli பெயர்ப்பு.
Thank you, sir.
We have to take the sounds into the talker language.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Well said, Rajesh. Well said.
Hello, Venkatesh.
Yes, sir. Please.
Again, I enter in it.
Okay, thank you, sir.
With pleasure.
The question raised by Dr. Chandru, I can give. War and Peace. War and Peace, the novel written by Russian writer.
Leo Tolstoy.
It has two different translations. One translation is entitled Porum Amidiyum. One more translation is entitled as Porum Valvum. Similarly, the mother, it has two different translations. One is entitled Thai, another is entitled Annai. Annai. So two different words they preferred to translate the same English term.
Yes.
So we can say it is a transcreation. ஒன்னு டால்ஸ்டாயோட நாவல், இன்னொன்னு உங்களுக்கு தெரியும். இந்த இடத்துல தான் இதான் காச்சல்லப்பன் டிரான்ஸ்கிரியேஷன் அப்படின்னு சொல்றாரு. Because we have many synonyms in Tamil. அன்னை, அம்மா, தாய், இது போல. அதான் தாயின்னு ஒருத்தர் மொழிபெயர்க்கிறாங்க, அன்னைன்னு ஒருத்தர் மொழிபெயர்க்கிறாங்க, போரும் அமைதியும் ஒருத்தர் மொழிபெயர்க்கிறாரு, போரும் வாழ்வும்னு ஒருத்தர் மொழிபெயர்க்கிறாரு. So these are the scope provided by the domain of translation.
அப்படியே சேர்த்து குற்றமும் தண்டனையும் கிரைம் அண்ட் பனிஷ்மென்ட் டிரான்ஸ்லேட் பண்ணாங்க சார். குற்றமும் தண்டனை.
Yeah. Dostoevsky's
Crime and-
Crime and punishment.
novel.
Crime and
Yeah,
punishment.
Crime and-
அது
crime and
ஒருத்தர்
punishment.
Yeah.
அத ஒருத்தர் குற்றமே தண்டனைன்னு ஒருத்தர் டிரான்ஸ்லேட் பண்ணாரு. குற்றமே தண்டனை. அத ஜஸ்டிஃபை
I
பண்ணாரு.
see.
ஜஸ்டிஃபை பண்ணாரு. குற்றமும் தண்டனை.
I see.
That is the exact translation. But if it is குற்றமே தண்டனைனா கதை நல்லா படிச்சு பார்த்தோம்னா குற்றமே crime and punishment. Crime no he will not get the punishment. இந்த ஸ்டோரி படிச்சிருப்பீங்க. அது குற்றம் தான் தண்டனையே. அவனுக்கு தண்டனையே கிடைக்காது. He will escape from the punishment. கடைசி அவனா போய் சரண்டர் ஆயிடுவான். That will be the story. அப்போ குற்றமே தண்டனை கூட கரெக்டா தானே இருக்கும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி he justified it. Yeah, so I'm adding something to your point, sir. That's it.
Yeah, it is called transcreation. It is called transcreation.
Yes. I'm adding some point to your point. That's it.
Yeah. Exactly. Thank you, Dr. Venkatesh.
Thank you, Dr. K. Ashish. Thank you. Any queries from the students participant or research scholars? Any queries from the students participant or research scholars? Or maybe from the faculty? Okay. Your long silence will convey you many meanings to me. Okay then. And I hope we are all enjoying the wonderful session as spoken by Rajesh. Dr. Rajesh has enlightened us with various fields which is being untouched, and he is also giving some scopes, and there are a lot of scopes in translation, and he is bearing the torch with us. And thank you, Dr. Rajesh, for sparing your valuable time with us and sharing your thoughts. And as a regular protocol, I will before that.
I would like to say something.
Before that, it's a great opportunity for me. It's a great opportunity for me to conduct such a online webinar. I personally thank our head of the department, who is giving full freedom to conduct this workshop. And I salute all the authorities, college authorities, for sponsoring all the facility to make the function a grand success. And I personally thank all the technical work can be done by Mr. Manikandan, Assistant Professor, Department of English, and Professor Vasudevan, Assistant Professor of English, and technical assistant will be given by the Bala and other people. And moreover, I am very thankful to our beloved principal, and he is very particular, and he is motivating me to conduct such workshop. And our college has provided all sort of workshops. And as a regular protocol, I will, before inviting vote of thanks, I have given a space for Rajesh to say few words.
Yeah, so once again, I would like to thank the principal. Normally, the principals will not come into this kind of programs, but in the beginning of this lecture, principal sir came and he says some words about the technical points. So normally the principals will not do it. Such a enthusiastic the principal is. I'm so happy, sir. I thank the principal of AVC College, and I thank my friend, my close friend. He's very close with me, Dr. Venkatesh and Mr. Manikandan, and all the persons who are working for this session. And the head of the Department of English. Yes, I was once upon a time I was very close with him, Dr. Meghanathan sir. But now, so thank you, sir. Thank you. He came and he has given some words about this, lecture. I thank Dr. Meghanathan sir and thank everybody, all the participants. Dr. Umaras from Madurai Kamarajan University, he attended, and some of my friends I have seen here. I could not mention all the names, so the participants numbers are so huge. That's what I couldn't name everybody. So I have seen some friends here. I thank everybody for this successful lecture. And thank you, Dr. Venkatesh sir, for giving this opportunity.
Thank you, Dr. Rajesh. At this juncture, we have to remember the great help rendered by Yamuna Madam from Mathematics Department. She has helped us lot. And I properly propose vote of thanks. May I invite Dr. P. Anbu Srinivasan sir, IQAC, to propose the vote of thanks for the webinar. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Venkatesh. Everyone needs a house to live in, but a supportive family is what builds a home. Yes, I submit my sincere gratitude to the management. Good afternoon, everyone present in the webinar. on behalf of IQAC, R&D Cell and Department of English, AVC College Autonomous, first I thank the respected Chairman Sir, respected Secretary Sir, and all respected committee members for providing the opportunity to the Department of English to organize this webinar on recent trends in translation. I thank respected Principal Sir for his guidance and support in all our academic activities. I also thank Dr. R.K. Sir, HOD of Economics and R&D Cell Director for his encouragement. I express my sincere thanks to Dr. L. Rajesh, today's resource person, Assistant Professor in English, Raja Sarfosi Government College, Tanjavur, for his simple style of delivering the divergent and recent trends in the field of translation. To the queries, your responses and the solutions all proved your exposure in the field. Thank you so much, sir. I thank the coordinator of this webinar, Dr. M. Venkatesan, Assistant Professor in English, for his efforts in organizing this event, along with the head of the department, Dr. K. M. Sir, and Mr. G. Manikandan, Assistant Professor in English, and PRO of our AVC College, and Mr. Vasudevan, Assistant Professor in English, and other faculty members for their fullest support. I also record my thanks to Dr. Yamuna Madam, Assistant Professor in Mathematics, and Mr. R. Balamurugan for their technical support for the smooth conduct of the webinar. Without the participants, this webinar could not have become success. I especially thank all the participants for your overwhelming response and active participation. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you very much for all of us joining.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.